Hey, welcome back to the Bassin Hole. My name is Paul, and I'll be your guide today. Today we're looking at a common issue. The battery charger on my boat here lost a bank, and I need to replace the whole charger. So unfortunately, it's buried in a mess of other things. But we'll go through a few steps of how to safely disconnect the existing charger, rewire it, and talk about the polarity of batteries and how you wire series and parallel. I have a set of 4 batteries. 2 are in parallel for my cranking side, and 2 are in series for my trolling motor. I'm only running a 24-volt trolling motor, but that doesn't really matter for this video. Thanks. Some of the tools you'll need for this job include a cordless drill with a Phillips bit to get to the screws. I've got a long bit on here. I also have a few shorter ones that might help in tighter places. A 1/2 inch and a 9/16 wrench. Your battery terminals sometimes have both. The positive side will be 1/2 inch, and the negative side can be 9/16, and then you might also have wing nuts depending on your batteries. Some channel locks, they're always handy, and some zip ties. You'll also want some wire cutters to cut your zip tie ends. If you like this hat, this episode was brought to you by Rabbit Clam Apparel. Like the tide, the probability may be low, but it's never impossible to be bitten by a rabbit clam. Keep your hopes high and lines tight. Happy fishing. The first step with any electrical job is to disconnect your main power. Make sure that the angry pixies can't jump out and bite you. As you can see, it's quite a mess in there, and there's some tight spaces. I'll clean some of that up with some wire ties and make this a better job as I complete it. So my old DualPro unit had a catastrophic casing failure, probably due to heat and time. But this is going to give us a unique opportunity to dig into the guts and see how this thing works, and maybe what the failure mode was. Maybe be able to salvage the working banks and use for another application. Now that everything's been removed, I'll clean up the area and unbox the new unit and get it mounted in. Ended up buying the cheapest unit I could off of Amazon. That is probably a decision I'll regret. That seems to be the way things go with Amazon purchases lately. So we'll see how that works out. But if anybody from DualPro is watching and wants to send me over another unit, I'd be happy. Well, I got it as clean as I can for this pass, and we'll get the charger reinstalled, and we'll get on our way. You won't catch much when you're just spraying out, but it's always a good idea to put a drip tray under your drain plug when you're doing any kind of water work in the boat. That way your barn or garage doesn't get wet. The new charger I bought is not a direct replacement for the DualPro, so I'm going to have to adjust the mounting position so that this is easier to access and gives me visibility to the LEDs on it. I'm going to put it closer to this far battery bank underneath my breaker box for the trolling motor. Anytime you're adding new hardware to your boat, make sure there's clearance behind where you're putting fasteners so that you're not hitting other components in the boat. For instance, drain hoses for your live wells, or potentially even the exterior hull. Make sure that any holes you drill are going to be the right size for the screws you're using, and always use high quality stainless steel fasteners. I'm mounting hardware. I like to use marker tape to get my holes in alignment. And the way I do that is I just take a piece that's as wide as the holes, put it on my equipment, make sure it's nice and straight, mark the holes by punching a hole or using a pen, then I remove the tape and stick it to the surface I'm going to mount. And as you can see, I've got my screws in place, and we'll slide that charger in. right on those, and then the top 2 screws we'll put in the holes on the charger itself. We won't use the tape method again. With that securely in place, all that's left to do is reroute our wires and install our battery. As you can see, I've got it all pieced back together and my wires are run. There's one more thing I wanted to touch on before I close the video, and that is series versus parallel and how you get 24 versus 12 volts out of a 12 volt battery. Right, so as I mentioned earlier, I have 4 batteries in this boat. 2 are wired in series, giving me 24 volts, and the other 2 are wired in parallel, giving me 12 volts. I use the parallel set for my starting battery and house appliances, like the GPS and fish finders, and then the 24 volt set is used for my trolling motor, right? So in order to get 24 volts out of 2 12 volt batteries, you have to wire them together where the positive lead of one battery touches the negative lead of the other battery. You know, this sounds bad, and if you've ever seen jump starting videos gone wrong, you know, that can lead really poorly if you have 2 12 volt systems. However, if the 2 batteries are independent and they are a 24 volt system, when you wire those 2 connections together. To do that, you use a jumper wire like this one. I'm going to run this from the positive lead on one battery to the negative lead on another battery, and then the positive and negative leads that are left give you 24 volts, and that runs to your trolling motor, right? And then on the parallel set, you use a pair of these jumpers, and you go positive to positive and negative to negative. That doubles the amperage of the battery and allows you to run longer on the set of 12 volt batteries. If you found this content useful, like and subscribe to support the effort.